What's up, guys? So we're here. Let's talk about the auction house and some of the new features slash things in this auction house. So it's very, very sensitive on wording. You have to type in like exact words. So like arc will work. It'll bring up all the archeums. In order to find other things, you got filters on the left over here. So if you're looking for like the consumable archeum, go to consumables and then go to tool. Also, when you are listing something, it's going to take 1 to 2 hours for an item to actually list on there. So this system is very interesting because you don't really know what the price is, right? So I listed these infusions and 0.085 and at 0.09. And if we type in infusion, so you have to reset. So reset is over here. So new search. It resets everything. We type in infusion or INF, so just a little bit of it will find what you need. So you don't have to type in the full word, and you can see all the basic ones. And then if we want, we can go up here to type and we can go to grand because that's the one that we're trying to sell. And so you can see now, so we guessed wrong. Like we guessed an hour ago that the price was going to be like 8 or 9 BSLT. And it's at 0.006 or 0.06, and then the lowest is 0.048. So it's a guessing game, right? Like you have to guess the price, but today's highest. So if you go in the history, the little graph down here in the bottom right, you can see the spread of how far this has gone. So the lowest was 0.0168, and the highest was 0.2571. So there's a huge spread here. So there's a good chance that mine might actually sell at 0.08 or 0.09. So same thing yesterday, 0.025, and then the highest was 0.5166. So some of the high ones could be an alt transferring money over to each other's account, right? Like you buy something and transfer your BSLT that way. That's the only way to trade or transaction items, but it also could be people that are paying that high of a price for it. So on the auction house, a good way to figure out the price is to do the same day average. So you see the same day average on this one is 0.0567, and if we look at today, the same day average is 0.05 or 0.0450. So that means generally the average, that's taking all the prices, they're averaging them together, and so that price is going to be 0.045, which means that that's probably about the right selling point that you want to actually put your item at. And you can see, yep, it's about there, 0.048. So another thing on the auction house is looking for armors and weapons and armors. It's very simple. All I do is I type in 3T, and that's going to be 3 tier for a weapon, and so or armor. And so now we're going to the subcategories. So if we want armors, we're going to go armor. Okay, so that's going to show you all of these, and then say we just want leather, so go to leather. Or you can even go break it down. You would just want headpieces. You click on the headpieces and go search again, and it's going to give you just the headpieces. And then up here for grade, since the 3 tier is completely free, you can go to arcane, and it should be some items only for 1 BSLT still. So if you ever want to change class or try different gear, 3T is your secret way to go and get these guys, and it's going to cost you 1 BSLT for all the armors or weapons that you could possibly ask for. There's going to be tons and tons of these things on the auction house. So you can see we're just looking into leather right now. So what I like to do is I like to look for good stats on these items. Unfortunately, the stats do not carry over when you upgrade them. So if you have a 3 tier and it has this max HP plus 8, when you upgrade it and use a scroll on it to tier 4 it's going to have a completely different stat. It's going to reroll and it's going to be completely different. So you don't keep the stats from each level going forward. That's a very interesting system. I didn't like it at first, but it does actually stimulate the economy for scrolls. There's these lucky scrolls that allow you to reroll the stats. So we need to refresh everything and go into lucky. So these guys, you can craft them, but they're also just on the roulette wheel on the cash shop at archeworld.com. So that's why they're on here for 1 BSLT. And this one right here, the white one, is actually used for tier 4 weapons and armors. And then this one is used for tier 5 weapons and armors. I'm 99% certain on that. I personally haven't tried that yet. And then there's one more higher one. I know that the Conquerors doesn't work on the tier 4. So just based by logic that it has to be working on the tier 5 ones. And then so this blue one, the Illustrious, once again, by logic it has to be used on the tier 6 weapons and armors, because it doesn't work on the tier 4 stuff. So this is, again, to re-roll the stats on your weapons and armors. And it's not that important on like the tier 4 things, but once you get to tier 5 weapons and armors, you're going to be stuck at tier 5 for many, many months unless you're throwing a lot of money in the game to upgrade to tier 6. So tier 6 is going to be incredibly expensive. Even on the Asian server, there's only 7 weapons that have gotten to tier 6. Like in 7 months of playtime. That is pretty insane. Alright, so that's going to do it here. If you have any other questions or comments about the auction house, let me know. There's all these different filters that you can filter things out on. There's a lot to get used to. And something that's very sneaky, right, is if you're looking for infusions, you'll notice that a lot of them will pop up. And they'll be very cheap because like people expect the price to go down, so you can like buy, and then like wait 30 seconds or a minute or two, and like new ones will pop up. And it's the delay, the listing price delay. You can find some really, really cheap deals, like finding these infusions for .02 or .03 at times, just because someone puts them up really cheap. Same thing with like cores, right? So if we go to core and we look at the blue cores. So we're going to type 44, and then we're going to put a big number over here. So we're going to do a range. We're going to say look for all items that are 44 or higher BSLT into the 220,000 BSLT. And the reason we did that is to get rid of all the other stuff, all the shards, because the blue Archeum core shard is the same exact word as blue Archeum core, right? So see the shard? It still appeared because it's the same word. It has all the same words. So there might be a way to go like minus shard on here. So let's see, minus shard. Does that work? Nope, so that doesn't work. There's going to be a lot of other things too, so you just play around with. There's going to be some more special things that you could probably do to filter out. These are just the ones that I personally know of how to do it. So we filtered out all of the shards by increasing the price to say, give us only things that are higher than 44 BSLT. And so we get a couple of purple shards still because people have listed them really, really high. And we get a couple of blue shards because some people are trying to make people misclick and be like, ooh, I'll try and buy this for 100 because thinking it's a core. Like, misclicks do happen. So this guy might get lucky and someone might actually buy his shards for 100 BSLT each because they misclicked and thought it was a core. They thought it was a good deal. So like, yeah, you never know. But realistically, we just want to look at the core prices, right? So 398, 398, 398. So like if we're listing a core and we see all these guys up here for 398, 398, 398, 400, 400, and you can see one guy right here put a shard, just again trying to get someone to misclick and buy that. Well, you would think that, hey, maybe we should put this a lot lower because the price just seems to be going down and down and down. And so maybe you do put it at like 350. But that's a big jump. You have to guess, right? You have to guess where the price is going to be. And so, you know, you could be like, I'm going to put it for 397. And you put it for 397, and then when it gets on the auction house, because of the 1 hour to 2 hour delay, there's already some that are up there at 350, 365, 375, 360. Like, so you have to gauge, right? Do you really want it to sell? And if so, you put it a little bit lower. So right now, if you really want your blue Archeum core to sell, I'd put it at probably like 375 right now. And then once it's up there, unless you really need the money, just leave it. Like I did this, I put one up for $4.99. It was the cheapest at that point when I listed it, but you know, it didn't sell. So I'm just leaving it there because who knows, someone might come and do a buyout and buy everything out up to $4.99 or $500, and mine might sell. So you can cancel it. So you can cancel the listing and this will return it back to you. but you already paid the listing fee. You paid the amount of gold, so you're not going to get any of that back. You'll just get your item back, which then allows you to relist it again. And again, I'm not in any rush for this to sell. If the blue Archeum core doesn't sell, then I personally will just use it myself, right? But if you're in a rush to try and get it to sell, then yeah, you go ahead and cancel the listing and try to relist it lower. But you also have to remember, like, when someone does want to buy some of these things, they're probably going to buy more than just one, especially on the blue Archeum cores. So, because it's not a 100% chance to upgrade, it's a 50% chance to upgrade with the scroll. And every time you fail, it goes up 5%. So you're going to need a lot of scrolls. You have like 14 pieces of gear or so, and you upgrade each one of them. So you're going to need, you know, approximately 30 scrolls, give or take, right? Depending on how lucky you are, to upgrade all of your gear to tier 4. So again, if you have any questions or comments, post them down below. Love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tell your friends, Archeworld is here. It's live. It's been a couple of days now. The economy and everything is going great. There has not been any major issues. There's been obviously little issues here and there, but the servers have been holding well. The 2 servers are, you know, roughly queue status almost always throughout the day. It seems like it's a small queue. It's about, you know, about 15 minutes or so, give or take. Nothing too major, but yeah, so we have like almost 2 complete full servers right now in the North America, South America region, and yeah, things are going well. The land is starting to fill up. It looks very, very promising, and yeah, the BSLT price is still hovering right around like 25, 26 cents, which I'm happy about. It allows me to buy more BSLT too. So I've been personally buying some more BSLT myself, loading up on that stuff. I do expect the BSLT price to go up, but again, no one knows the future. So I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.